As early voting kicks off across the United States, the political landscape is rapidly shifting, and one thing is becoming abundantly clear. Americans are rallying behind Vice President Kamala Harris in unprecedented numbers. In a stunning turn of events, early polls indicate that the tide of public opinion is swinging dramatically against Donald Trump, with voters sending a powerful, resounding message that they are ready for a new chapter in American politics. The enthusiasm for Harris, coupled with a growing disillusionment with Trump, is creating a groundswell of momentum, particularly among young voters, women, and marginalized communities. From South Texas to deep red Idaho to the bustling streets of Georgia, videos have gone viral on social media platforms like TikTok, showcasing the excitement and determination of Americans who are ready to stand up for their values and their future. They are rejecting the divisive, backward-looking rhetoric of Trump and his allies and are instead embracing the forward-thinking policies and inclusive vision of Harris. This election season is shaping up to be a pivotal moment in American history, one in which voters are taking a stand for democracy, reproductive rights, worker protections, and common-sense governance. This video will explore the viral wave of enthusiasm surrounding Harris, the shifting political tides as voters mobilize in record numbers, and the growing frustration with Trump's treatment of workers, his conspiratorial rhetoric, and his disconnection from the needs of everyday Americans. In doing so, we'll dissect the incredible stories of voters from across the country, as well as analyze the deeper implications of this election for the future of American democracy. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to reaching 5,000 subscribers, but we can't do it without you. So, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe right now. And if you're already subscribed, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment to let me know your thoughts. Alright, let's dive right into it. The rising tide of support for Kamala Harris, a nationwide movement. As early polls open, the support for Vice President Kamala Harris has reached staggering levels. Across social media, particularly TikTok, videos are surfacing that document voters' overwhelming enthusiasm for Harris and their dissatisfaction with Trump. A viral video from South Texas shows a convoy of trucks driving in support of Harris, with one voter from Florida marveling at the sea of blue signs adorning every home in his community. The sense of welcome and solidarity in communities across the country is palpable. In a moment of reflection, one user expressed awe as he drove through a Florida neighborhood filled with blue signs supporting Harris and her policies. "Every home, y'all," he exclaimed. "This neighborhood feels so welcoming." The striking visual of Harris signs on nearly every lawn in this community serves as a powerful metaphor for the broader wave of support she's receiving nationwide. It's not just isolated pockets of blue strongholds showing up to vote for Harris. It's happening everywhere, even in unexpected places. In deep red Idaho, a traditionally conservative state, a Harris supporter proudly wore his Harris Walls hat in public and received compliments. This display of support in such a politically red area demonstrates the breadth of Harris's appeal, cutting across political and geographic boundaries. This groundswell of enthusiasm isn't just limited to liberal strongholds. It's creeping into conservative territory and challenging Trump's dominance in areas previously considered safe for him. Creative expression of support, from signs to Dr. Seuss references. In another viral video, one woman showed off her creative yard signs supporting Kamala Harris and walls. What started as a simple yard sign soon became an artistic expression, with references to Dr. Seuss, The New Yorker, and Schoolhouse Rock's "I'm Just a Bill." This creativity speaks to the way voters are embracing Harris's message, using humor, art, and pop culture to express their support for her in a way that resonates with others. The addition of a Taylor Swift-inspired friendship bracelet motif also demonstrates how voters, particularly young women, are integrating cultural symbols into their political activism. It's no longer enough to just vote. Supporters are turning their homes, their yards, and their clothing into platforms for expressing their enthusiasm for Harris and her policies. This creative surge isn't just an online trend. It's being felt on the ground at rallies and events. At a Harris rally in Atlanta, Georgia, the energy was electric, with crowds waiting in long lines to hear her speak. The sheer number of people who turned out for her event was a testament to her growing popularity. In Nebraska, at a rally for Harris and Governor Tim Walz, the chant, "We are not going back," echoed through the crowd, signaling a collective determination to reject Trump's regressive policies and forge a new path forward. Trump's dwindling support. Early polls reveal shocking trends. As the excitement for Harris builds, early voting statistics are revealing that Trump's support is faltering. Videos from North Carolina, Wisconsin, and Missouri show voters who have had enough of Trump's antics, with many calling out his treatment of workers and his failure to deliver on promises. One viral video from Wisconsin featured a man reminding voters that if your political candidate has to be sued to pay their workers, they're not pro-worker. This message struck a chord with many, as Trump's long history of failing to pay contractors and workers has been well documented, yet often ignored by his base. Another key factor in Trump's declining support is his administration's anti-union policies. A pair of bricklayers from Missouri released a video warning about Project 2025, a plan detailed by the Trump campaign that lays out a strategy for dismantling labor unions and cutting wages. The video was a stark reminder to voters of the consequences of another Trump presidency, particularly for workers in traditionally union-heavy industries like construction. The backlash against Trump isn't just economic, it's deeply personal for many voters. Women, in particular, are rejecting Trump's policies on reproductive rights. A powerful video from Georgia featured a young woman who, after voting for Harris, expressed her determination to protect her reproductive rights. Her message was clear: if you don't go out there and vote, something bad is going to happen. This sentiment was echoed by millions of women across the country who view the 2024 election as a referendum on their bodily autonomy. The youth movement, Gen Z and millennials, are mobilizing like never before. One of the most striking trends in early voting is the unprecedented mobilization of young voters. Videos from North Carolina show students marching to the polls, accompanied by a full marching band. This display of enthusiasm and determination is a clear sign that younger generations are fully engaged in the political process, rejecting the apathy that often characterized youth voting in previous elections. A viral video featuring a young voter in Georgia captured the energy of this movement perfectly. Dressed in a Black Women Vote t-shirt, she proudly shared her experience of voting for Harris, emphasizing the importance of making her voice heard. This new wave of young voters is not only showing up at the polls, but they're also inspiring others to do the same through social media and grassroots organizing. The rise of TikTok as a political platform has also played a significant role in mobilizing younger voters. Creators are using their platforms to share their voting experiences, encourage others to vote early, and provide critical information about key issues on the ballot. In one viral video, a canvasser from Georgia shared a story of flying to Pennsylvania to knock on doors and talk to voters. His message was simple but powerful: if I can sacrifice my weekends to knock on doors, you can vote early. The Trump campaign in crisis, a candidate out of touch. As Harris's support continues to grow, Trump's campaign is floundering. Videos from across the country show a president increasingly disconnected from the needs and desires of the American people. From mishandling workers' rights to spreading conspiracy theories, Trump's rhetoric is alienating voters who once supported him. In one viral video, a Wisconsin voter expressed frustration with Trump's treatment of workers, pointing out that a candidate who is to be sued to pay his employees cannot claim to be pro-worker. This sentiment is shared by millions of Americans who feel betrayed by Trump's promises to champion the working class. Instead, his administration's policies have consistently favored the wealthy and corporations, leaving everyday workers behind. In another video, a veteran from Kentucky called on fellow veterans to reconsider their support for Trump, urging them to visit the website Leaving MAGA to understand the true consequences of Trump's policies. The veteran's message was clear: Trump's administration has failed to protect the very people it claims to represent, and it's time for voters to make a change. The final push, early voting and the fight for democracy. As the election nears, the urgency to vote early has become a rallying cry for Harris supporters. In video after video, voters are encouraging their fellow citizens to get to the polls as soon as possible. A key reason for this push is the logistical advantage it gives campaigns. As one canvasser explained in a viral video, when voters cast their ballots early, campaigns can shift their resources to focus on persuading undecided voters, thereby increasing their chances of success. The stakes are incredibly high in this election, with issues like reproductive rights, affordable health care, fair wages, and the very future of American democracy on the ballot. In state after state, voters are turning out in record numbers to make their voices heard. From Georgia to Missouri, North Carolina to Idaho, the message is clear. Americans are rejecting the divisive, conspiratorial politics of Trump and are instead rallying behind a vision of inclusivity, progress, and common-sense governance. As early voting continues, the writing on the wall becomes clearer each day. Donald Trump is facing a humiliating defeat as Americans rally behind Vice President Kamala Harris in record numbers. The viral videos circulating on social media reflect a groundswell of support for Harris and a growing disillusionment with Trump's divisive, regressive policies. From creative yard signs to student-led marches to the polls, voters are making it known that they are ready for change, and they are not going back. The next few weeks will be critical in determining the future of American democracy, but one thing is certain. This election is shaping up to be a referendum on Trump's presidency, and voters are sending a loud and clear message that they are ready to move forward.